The town map that hung by the corner shop was always part of the street. It showed where the market stalls would stand, where lanterns would glow, and where everyone could find a warm pie or a quick cup of tea. The lantern fair was only 3 sleeps away when the map was suddenly gone. People rubbed their foreheads and spoke softly. Routes were muddled, stalls could not be found. Milo Finch tied his cap, clicked his magnifying glass, and made a plan. Milo was quick and careful. His notebook had pages full of tiny sketches and secret marks. Poppy, the calm tabby cat, brushed Milo's leg and wound around his ankles as if to say, "I will help." Clara leaned from her doorway with a smear of grease on her sleeve and a small smile. She offered her wrench and a flashlight. Together, they walked the brick lanes, while the town settled into a fog-soft morning. At the corner where the map had hung, Milo crouched down. He looked at the wooden peg and the torn string. In the cobbles, he found a smear of blue paint. He placed a leaf between 2 pages of his notebook, a pressed maple leaf from the lane. He found a torn ribbon caught in the bristles of a broom. Milo drew each find, wrote the time, and drew a little clock beside the notes. Poppy sniffed the ribbon, then nosed a puddle where lamplight had left a sticky shine. Milo visited the bakery first. The baker wiped flour from her hands and spoke softly. "I saw a gust of wind. I almost chased a stray ribbon down the lane, but my oven was hot and the pies were hungry." Milo put a small dot beside her name. The blue paint did not match flour. The pressed leaf might have come from the lane near the map. He thanked her and left a small circle in his mind that would become a map of its own. Next, Milo found the sleepy bus driver by his bench. He wore a coat that smelled faintly of tea. He blinked and said he had driven his route and had not left the bus. "But I did stop to tie my shoe near the corner." Milo drew a tiny shoe beside the bus driver's name. Clara tapped her wrench against the bench and hummed. Every small thing was a clue, Milo thought. Every small thing mattered. There were silly turns, too. A prankster squirrel had been chased from the corner shop roof. Milo and Poppy followed small footprints that led to a heap of umbrellas. One umbrella was missing a wooden peg, and inside was a square of blue paint. The squirrel had scattered paper and carried a ribbon, but it did not take the map. It had only made a mess. Milo sketched the umbrella and put a little question mark. Red herrings rustled, but each one showed Milo where people cared and moved. Someone had been near the map. Someone had worried about rain. Someone had tried to hide something from wind. By the time the sun made the lamplight seem amber, Milo had 3 strong marks on his page: the blue smear, the maple leaf, and the torn ribbon. He crossed these with times. He sat on the wall and whispered the list to Poppy. Paint, leaf, ribbon. Someone moved the map and left these behind. Clara cleaned a smear of grease from her lip and tapped Milo's notebook. We need to ask kindly. Milo nodded. Detectives ask and listen. At dusk, the town gathered near the corner shop. Lanterns winked awake. Milo set his little piles of clues on a low table. The blue smear on a scrap, the pressed leaf in waxed paper, the ribbon tied in a neat loop. He did not point fingers. He told the story of each clue in a soft voice so everyone could hear. The baker, the bus driver, the lamplighter, and the neighbors with gentle faces stood around and listened. Poppy wound between feet and purred. Milo showed how the blue smear matched a paint pot behind a stall by the flower stand. He showed how the maple leaf came from the tree near a certain doorway. He held up the ribbon and said, "This ribbon was sewn to a pocketed apron. Many aprons in town are plain, but one apron has a little tear where this ribbon could fit." Eyes turned to a small shop with a bell that had not chimed much that week. People looked at each other with quiet surprise. A soft voice stepped forward. It belonged to a neighbor who always kept a little stool by her door and hummed as she watered her plants. Her hands were gentle and a little damp from a watering can. She looked down at the ribbon in Milo's hand and then up at the town. Her cheeks were the color of the last light before night. I moved the map. It looked like rain. I thought it would get soggy. I did not mean to hide it. I did not say because I was afraid someone would be cross with me for touching what did not belong to me. She told how she had seen the wind take the corner of the map and how she had quickly lifted it and tucked it into her doorway to keep it dry. The blue paint had come from the small pot she used for sign letters. The leaf had stuck to the map when she set it on the step. The ribbon had come free when she tied the map to the peg and then forgot, caught up in watering pots and making sure each plant had a drink. Milo listened and then asked, "Could we see where you put it?" The neighbor led them to her little dark doorway. Behind a row of boots and a patchwork mat, there lay the folded map, slightly damp at one corner, but safe. The town smiled like the sun coming back. No one scolded. The neighbor's hands trembled once, then relaxed when the baker gave her a warm bun and the bus driver offered to carry it back to its peg. Milo put the map back with careful fingers. He smoothed a corner, tied the ribbon neatly, and made a small note in his notebook. Asking is a clue, too. Poppy jumped into Milo's lap and purred, and Clara clapped lightly. The town made a new plan, to watch for wind, and to ask kindly if something was moved. They learned to share the chores of the fair, and to say thank you more than they said why. Milo added the final sketch to his book, a simple map of friends who cared. He closed the notebook and smiled. The lantern fair went on, warm and bright. People found the stalls, the pies were placed, and lanterns bobbed like gentle stars above the lanes. When things go missing, ask gently and listen with your ears and eyes. Helping and understanding brings people together more than blame ever will.